I want to show you this clip out of Denver, Colorado. And keep in mind, this is Colorado. So this is the state that just banned Trump off the ballot. And this video consists of local residents that live downtown next to an area where busloads of illegal immigrants are getting dropped off daily at this point. And this was a local article earlier this week by CBS News, and they reported that 16 busloads of illegal immigrants have been dropped off in this area in Denver in a span of 24 hours. It's getting so bad in Colorado that immigrants are just being dropped off in small towns all throughout the state. I reported earlier this week that Carbondale, a small town 30 minutes outside of Aspen, the town all of a sudden noticed that there were 80 Venezuelan men living under a bridge, and they came to this small mountain town in hopes of getting ski resort jobs or construction jobs, and the town itself is saying we're overrun. So that's Carbondale. That's 4 hours away from Denver, in the middle of the mountains. This is Denver, Colorado. And again, this is the city or the state that took Trump off the ballot.
Aurora is not in the position to be long-term care for anyone coming into the city.
This was the sixth bus to end up in Aurora in just 2 days.
I tricked you. That was Aurora. I can never say that correctly, even when I lived there. That was Aurora. That's not Denver. So that's like a little suburb outside of Denver. Here's Denver. By the way, this is all the same week.
Is Ralph Williams, who's lived on this block for 2 decades.
I'm amazed that it's there. I mean, like, it's a total WTF moment.
These tents and hundreds of migrants nearing both of their doorsteps.
I just keep seeing more buses show up and more and more. And it stresses me out. And if the tents look like they're coming up here, I don't want to live there.
Originally, the city was picking up trash from the encampment 3 times a week. Now it's 5, but residents say that's still not cutting it.
The more people that show up, it might even need to be daily.
And the next clip I have for you, this is a woman who works at a gas station close to that same area. And listen to her speak. She's clearly an immigrant herself, as she's very fluent in Spanish and English. But she appears to be a legal immigrant who came here the legal way, who is working, contributing, and trying to make a good life for herself. Listen to her experience by this area.
Jarena, who works at the Shell gas station at Spear and Zunai, tells us she tried to help but didn't get a good response.
They speak bad to me. I'm the only one who speaks Spanish. I try to help them and try to explain the rules, but they don't like it. Too many people, they are so bad with me and with my boss.
3,800 migrants are currently staying in 7 shelters, specifically for migrants across the city, where resources are dwindling.
We can run out of room. We can run out of resources. We're already limited as is, and it's just straining and already.
So the last guy that was talking, he works for Denver Human Services. If you looked at the bottom of the screen, he says that he worked for Denver Human Services. I also used to work for Denver Human Services a long time ago. So he would have been my coworker back in the day. And I can tell you this, I worked with kids that were taken out of the home, so abused and neglected kids. And even back then, we were very short on budget. Budget was always a huge issue for us. We were always running on a bare bones budget. And although systems do work when everyone's doing the right thing, when you have chaos like this, see, these systems are very fragile. And I'm pretty afraid for Denver and some of these other areas. And this story was in the New York Post. I referenced this earlier. This is about Carbondale. This is a really small, very liberal town about 30 minutes outside of Aspen, Colorado. This from Denver, from the biggest airport around. It takes about 4 hours from Denver to get to this area, and it is deep in the mountains, so it's not an easy place to get to. And this town, they're also suffering. So it says, many of the residents in the town of fewer than 7,000 people are being priced out of the community that is increasingly drawing tourists to its artsy downtown. We don't want to become a destination for people. We can't take any more than we have now. We really are over what we can handle. And what are they talking about? Read the very bottom paragraph. The town has been struggling with the migrant crisis since a group of 80 Venezuelan men were found living under a local bridge. How did they get there? How did they get there? Can I just say it one more time for the people in the back? This is the state that took Trump off the ballot. And look, we can joke about these lefty liberal areas and say they deserve what they get. They voted for this, and they do. All of the above is true. But also at the same time, this is a part of the United States of America. I lived in Colorado. I had some of my best, most favorite memories in Colorado. Same with California. Same with all these other areas. It's still a part of this country, and they're still very beautiful areas. And it pains me, it hurts me to see this happening to these areas. And unfortunately, a lot of these liberals, they're going to toe the line in between for a minute. They're not going to fully wake up to what is actually happening and what the end game is here. Anyway, that's it for now.